Welcome to the Spare Parts Racing Podcast, your podcast for all things motorsports. With your hosts, Sean Chavarella, Stephen Clary, and Taylor Moore.
Hear that music?
Hello and welcome to this week's episode of Spare Parts Racing. I'm your host, Sean.
I'm Steven.
And I'm Taylor.
And friends, I am not feeling well today. I don't know if you can hear that in my voice, so please, let's try not to have me talk a whole lot this week. I will be asking you guys
an improvement.
to carry the show. Yes, this is the improvement. So if I cut off randomly, it's probably because I'm coughing.
Oh dear.
As he proceeds to
And that took no time.
cough.
Oh dear. Okay.
Get
See
it
what,
back
see
on
what I
the...
mean? See what I mean? Thank you. So anyway, this week, we have some fun things to talk about. We have, was it NASCAR throwback race at Darlington to talk about, Japanese Grand Prix, and then a whole bunch of things that happened in the news. So, what do you guys want to talk about first?
They were both so bad.
Boring?
Like, I would usually say let's get the shit one out of the way and spend time on the good one, but neither was really great. I already have a title for this week. The title for this week is just Clean Air.
Yo,
Something along
so
those
true
lines.
though. I
That's
do have a
literally all we
question
do.
though. Like I have a big question about NASCAR stuff. So we could start with NASCAR, but like
Sure.
I think I still don't understand how certain things are determined. So I mean, like, it was kind of boring. Byron, like, stage one, stage two, led pretty much everything except until the end. How do restarts, like, the restart order get, like, determined? Because, like, there's the stage restart, right? How does that order get determined? Because it's always different.
Choose cone.
And it's never, like... Is what?
Choose cone. So you end the stage. You ranked 1 through 32.
Uh-huh.
And then, so as they come around, you hit the choose cone with 1 lap to go under yellow. The leader will pick inside or outside, and then every other car picks inside or outside. So it's not necessarily your running order. The running order decides how you pick, and you just line up wherever. If everybody picks inside, and then it's like the 10th car picks outside, he's starting second.
Interesting. Okay. Because I was like, I don't understand how this is determined. But I know on like a restart after a caution, it's usually determined by like who gets out of the pits first, right?
Yeah, so
Like,
your
if you have a good pit stop, you're
your pits get you in the
You're going-
line, and then your place in line determines where you go on the side-by-side restart. So you can either pick inside or outside.
Got you. Okay. I was so confused because I was like, how could William Byron lead so much of this race and still not win?
Well, it is funny because it didn't even come down to the choose cone. It was Denny Hamlin's pit crew was just on it all weekend.
Yes, yeah, he had a phenomenal pit stop at the end of the race.
And also, Byron's teammate kind of screwed him over too.
Yeah.
With
That was
Larson wrecking himself, but also kind of getting a little helped. But, it happens.
Yeah.
Well, he wrecked himself earlier too, so it only took him 4 laps to wreck himself the first time.
Yep.
So
I don't know. That
Either
was
way.
really it that I had from the NASCAR race. So does anybody else have any other points that they'd like to bring up?
good on Denny for going basically almost a full year without a win and then ripping off back to back. Fucking
True.
hilarious. Toyota seems to be good on the short track so far to start. They had 3 cars in the top 4 again this week.
Yeah.
So after going they were 1, 2, 3 last week before you had a different make. So
I would maybe say Hamlin maybe again for Bristol this weekend. Maybe get another 3-peat Toyota, 3-peat Gibbs.
yep.
That would be
jeez.
interesting.
That would be oh no. That would be hilarious.
Maybe it's
but-
the year he can finally smoke that cigar. Maybe.
I'd still put my money on Chris Bell.
Meh.
But who else? Where's that? I had the. So yeah, you had that's standings. So yeah, Hamlin, Byron, Bell, Reddick, your top four. Blaney, fifth. He's the complete opposite of Hamlin. His pit crew keeps screwing him over. I think he was like minus 20 on the day off of pit road, which is fucking abysmal.
That's terrible.
Yeah. He's probably asking for any sort of help in there right now. Like, just something. Because you can't lose that many spots and hope to be competitive. The fact he brought it home fifth is fucking amazing. Busher, Chastain, Elliott, Gibbs, Bush to round out the top 10. Gibbs finally gets a top 10. That's something that he's really needed and sort of saw a bit of a turning of the corner last week, finishing 13th. So a couple more strong finishes. I think he can put the he's cooked before 25 rumors to bed.
I was saying this a while ago. It's early in the season. He's got plenty of time to go.
Yeah.
I'm still going to bet he's going to win. He's going to win a race this year.
We will see. And then who else do we have here? Like, Busher, Chastain, Elliott is fucking hilarious because I feel like they're never in the top 5, but they're never outside the top 12.
Yes.
To start the year so far. So if we go over to here,
like it's just consistently that round 10th place running.
Yep, Busher 5 top 10s and 8 starts. Chastain 4 top 10s right next to each other in the standings. And Chase Elliott 5 top 10s, and the only difference being he has 2 top 5s. Just insane. Anybody else really to talk about? I guess Zane Smith finishing 12th is pretty good. Finish they needed. We already said Larson sort of binned it, so
yeah. I don't have a whole much. It was not really that the best part of the race for most people was the paint schemes. And I gave my thoughts on the throwbacks last week, so
yeah. I mean everything else is going to be rehashed. Throwbacks, the fact that you can't pass on a short track because once again you had another car dominating. That car just didn't win this week, but it came second. So yeah, fix the fucking short tracks, and then maybe we'll
more
talk about
power, more power,
more power.
Yeah.
So yeah. Anyway,
yeah, I was gonna say we for every short track, know what we should do, and
drinking game.
Talked about drinking game, or we just record like a standard short track one of couldn't pass, blah blah blah. Here, this guy had trouble on pit road, and then you just slowly put in a name wherever it fits.
Ad lib it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mad libs it.
That's a
Mad
good
lib
idea.
it. That's the one. Yes.
That's a good idea.
Nice and simple.
How would you make a short track drinking game though?
No, I think on the opposite side of that, I agree with Steven here. So let's Mad lib Bristol. Okay. Kyle Larson is going to dominate the race, right? He's going to then have trouble on pit road.
Mm-hmm.
Alex Bowman's going to win the race.
Oh, okay.
Ty Gibbs will struggle. Bubba Wallace will crash. There. There. There's my Mad lib for this weekend.
Yeah,
that's good.
And we can edit out the names, and no one will know the difference later.
Exactly. No, give me one, Steven. Give your Mad lib for this weekend then.
Oh, okay.
And no one can pass. Forgot about that part.
No, of course, no one can pass.
Fuck, I was gonna say I want Bowman for Bristol. But well, just because fuck it, who cares anyways? Ty Gibbs will win somehow.
After Elliott dominates.
After Chase Elliott leads 75% of the laps, and I'm trying to think of who else you haven't said yet. Brad Keselowski will crash late in the race. I don't know.
Oh,
That checks out.
There you go.
Interesting. Right on.
Ryan Blaney's pit crew will screw him again.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's or his engine
Or
will
his
lose.
engine will blow up. Yeah, his engine will blow up again.
Easy.
That's fair.
Easy.
Yeah. So on that thought though, where it's probably gonna be another boring Bristol this weekend, unless I don't know Goodyear fucks up the tires again.
Oh, we can
Who
hope.
knows? Who knows?
hope.
Maybe we'll get something exciting. Positivity. NASCAR positivity.
The best races we get are the races where there are shitty tires. Now, Q, let's
That's
talk
fair.
about
That's fair.
F1.
Good segue. Good segue. Okay.
The segue is like me this week. Sick. Womp, womp, womp.
Womp womp.
Show yourself out.
So were we all awake for the start of the race?
Sadly.
First off? Yeah, okay.
Yes. We stayed up for the whole thing. Did you?
No, I fell asleep halfway through because it was so boring.
Yeah, that's fair.
I was like so intent. Like I was like, I'm gonna do it. Like I tried to sleep and then I set my alarm for the race and then I just couldn't get to sleep. Maybe I was like too excited for a race that didn't end up being exciting at all. So yeah, like I watched the start and then like halfway through it was over. I was like, whatever, nothing's happening.
That was the race. The first lap was the race. Like I think out of everyone who moved on the first lap, no one changed positions.
Yeah, in the top 10, it was just what? Hamilton and Hadjar switched? That's it?
Yeah, pretty much. That was it.
And then in the Formula B, the bottom 10,
Formula B.
Stroll screwed up his strategy and he dropped down one spot. And Lawson screwed up his and dropped down. And I think that was kind of it. Most guys stayed where they were.
I think the only moment was the pit stop where Lando tried to overtake Max coming out of the pits.
Yep.
And even that was like
I respect Lando for going for it because, like, that was your only shot.
Yep.
It really was, yeah. I mean,
Team didn't help him.
No. Funny that he complained about it on the radio, thinking that, like, maybe Max could get a penalty, but I was like,
I mean, that's what the guys
good
do,
try.
right? They have to try.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good try.
Again, not like he could do anything really on track. The only move that they could have reasonably made was to pit Lando first, have Piastri match Max, which, funny enough, with how bad Red Bull's stop was, would have been the right move because they would have had to hold him for an extra second. And that would have gotten Lando through. That was the move, but evidently they just sort of said, Piastri will pit first, and then...
That was the move, or, you know, letting Piastri overtake him was the move. Strategy is always easier in hindsight.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. But at the same time, I think pulling Lando first would have been the right call at the time, too.
Yeah. Again, at the
don't
time.
Think,
it's easy to say it now, but, like, they also pitted at the exact same time. Maybe they were hoping to undercut.
Yeah.
I think every strategy that you like plan for, like there's always a 50-50 shot. It's going to work or it's not going to work, right? So like you take your chance, you hope for the best.
Fucking philosopher Taylor.
If it works.
It either does work or it doesn't. That's everything.
Yeah. Sure. Whatever.
My point is, I don't think McLaren did enough to get Lando into clean air, which is clearly what was needed for this race.
Okay, so question though. Towards the end of the race when Piastri was on the radio saying that he felt like he had more pace than Lando, and a lot of people have been saying that they feel like McLaren maybe didn't make the best decision not letting Piastri ahead of Norris, and like obviously opting for Norris to keep the second position. So like, how do you feel about that? Do you agree with that? Do you think that Piastri maybe would have caught Max at the end? Like, I don't necessarily think so. I think Max was too far ahead. But what's the move there, right? Like, when you're a team that says that you have 2 number 1 drivers, is this going to start, creating some conflict in the garage?
You
look like you wanted to say something. No, you wanted to say something, so.
I agree. Don't let anyone pass. Make them earn it.
That's
See,
fair.
I want to know what the McLaren fan says, Steven. But as the racing fan, I'm not having a rooted interest in a specific team winning unless it's a green one. That's not going to happen. Okay. I'll give it to 2027. But I think that you create a dangerous precedent if one guy's always faster and you're telling guys team orders, and then you rely on team orders too much. You want to get drivers that can actually race. And, part of the good old days of the Mercedes Hamilton-Rosberg rivalry was they had to race each other. So let them race. Okay, you're faster, Piastri, get them. But we also saw what this track was doing. No one could pass. So yeah, you probably could have gotten closer, but I don't think you could have made a move. So I think they did the right call. Yeah.
If and I agree 100% that, you got to let guys earn their spot. And honestly, I don't think it would have really made a difference and the only difference is that the McLarens would have swapped. Because to catch Max would have been one thing. To pass him would have been an entirely different thing. I think this weekend, I think you see, yes. But at the same time, it's true. I don't. If Piastri had caught up, he's on 1 lap older tires. He's now in extremely dirty air behind the Red Bull. I don't think he's passing Max. I don't think that's happening. Not with how he drove this weekend. He drove the hell out of that Red Bull. Also, I don't think anything.
There was only one place to pass.
Yeah.
Which is the first corner.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which good luck with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That was the only shred of controversy that I heard coming out of Suzuka. So.
Yeah, and the only thing would have been is if you let Piastri through, Lando does his whole save, you try and keep both cars within touching distance of Max, and then if Piastri cannot find a way past, you say swap it back, Lando go at him. That's the only thing, and then but doing that call doesn't really make sense at the same time. Again, because I don't think Piastri's necessarily catching him. So I think what they did in the end was probably the right move. Who's to say, maybe Piastri's found...
That's the right move. When you were watching it, what did you want them to do?
When I was watching it, I'm trying to remember. Problem is that it was
Were you awake enough?
Yeah, it was 2 a.m. and I think I had a coffee 3 hours before. So I want to say I was probably I probably was thinking along the lines of let him pass and then swap him back if it doesn't work. If you can't catch him if you aren't past him by last lap, there was no one even close. What was the final delta? There was 14 seconds to Charles Leclerc in 4th place. You can swap the cars around as much as you want, slow down. It's not going to make a difference. So if you really wanted to, you could say, Piastri, go at him. Because Lando's plan was also, I want to sit back. I want to keep life in the tires so that way I can go. And it honestly might have worked better because maybe Piastri gets past. Max burns out his tires, and then all of a sudden Norris has life left, and he blows past Max. Probably not, but that's I think that was roughly my mindset at the time. Is screw it, why not? Again, I don't think they really tried anything. They pit the cars within a lap of each other.
Yeah,
and this is not a track where an undercut is necessarily going to work.
Well, it also it wasn't a good track for obviously overtaking, but I feel like that's a Pirelli screw up.
Yeah.
Because they just repaved Suzuka, so it's going to have very low deg. Pirelli brought its hardest fucking tires for some reason.
Yeah.
The medium did like 2/3 distance. The medium.
Wow.
Like that shouldn't happen.
No.
Like, honestly, I think Pirelli has made a lot of the issues in F1 issues, and they've taken zero heat for it. You know, for back in the day of, the blistering and dirty air, stuff like that, or tires overheating if you got too close to a car. Pirelli just makes terrible tires. I think they either need to simplify their tire thing and just go maybe back to the old prime and option tire. Or, I mean, ideally, I would just like to see them, okay, every single race weekend, we're just bringing softs. Figure it out.
Yeah. It's a 5-stopper. Make it work.
Yeah.
A 5-stopper, can you imagine?
Yeah, every single race weekend, they only bring the C4? Is that the second? Whatever the second softest one is. C2 or C4. It's just 5, right? I don't know.
Yeah.
Bring the second softest one. That's your tire for the weekend. Figure it out.
Or
tire war.
I wouldn't. Yeah. Tire war wouldn't get bad.
Tire war.
I also don't hate having like the option tire just to get some mix up in strategy, because again, I think if you bring just the one, you end up sort of in like a NASCAR situation where, again, we've complained that everybody's on the same strategy,
right?
More or less, right? Some teams, yes, they like Max can probably make the tires last. Lando can probably make the tires last. So, like the top teams can make the tires last a little bit longer, maybe cut out an extra pit stop over the smaller teams. But I wouldn't hate to see just the option 1, option 2, whatever combo gets you to the line fastest.
Yeah. Whatever Pirelli's been doing for the last 10 years, I think, has not been good. They've made a lot of mistakes, and also they have like all these pressure regulations now where you can't run them low, so they're all overinflated anyway, and it's a disaster. Pirelli, get your shit together.
Yeah.
Tire war. Go back to IMS and have 6 cars start again.
I mean, like, listen, that wasn't necessarily... Okay, you have one bad moment. It's fine. Had Michelin just done some research, they would have known, that was a chance of happening. But no. Anyway. So, yeah, unfortunate race. Did you also see today that, what was it? Science was fined for missing the national anthem?
Oh,
No,
yeah, because he, like...
Didn't
Did he
quote,
have, like, a medical issue?
No, he had a bathroom issue. He said, quote, shit happens. And everyone's like, yeah,
Yeah,
literally.
but didn't the doctor say that he had a stomach thing happening, so it was, like,
yes,
an actual reason why?
Honestly, he said in an official interview, shit happens, and he got fined $20,000. I am really hoping that fucking Dictator McGee, Mohammed Ben Sulayem decides, ooh, another fine. And I want to see this happen because
the
FIA
things are
are
popping
crooks.
off.
Yeah, the things are popping off. And you just had today of who was it that resigned? Was he resigned or fired?
Reed. Okay, no.
He resigned.
Whoa, hang on, because it's already been a precedent with who was the race director at the end of last season, who left on his own terms, came out later, said, "Oh no, I was fired." Do we not remember this from
Yes, I'm trying to think of who it was.
5 months ago?
Either
way, yeah.
I'll find the name.
I do so in was it Andrew Benson from BBC? He did interview the guy, and Robert Reed, who stepped down, did say that he was stepping down, not that he was fired. So
it was Niels Wittich who was.
Yes, that's it.
He was the last guy I didn't have on my list because I compiled a list today at work of
oh, nice,
everyone in the last year who has now been let go or fired from the FIA. So you have the most recent one being Robert Reed, who was your what was it, deputy president?
Deputy president for sport at FIA.
Yeah. Then you had Niels Wittich, who got fired last year, who was race director.
Oh, right. Yep.
You had Tim Mayer, who was fired, and he was one of the stewards.
Oh boy.
Oh no, it gets better. It gets way better.
No.
In the summer last year, you had 2 people fired from the audit committee of the FIA. There was Bertrand Bader, who was the head of the audit committee, and Tom Purvis, who was a member of the audit committee. And then last year in May, Natalie Robin, who was one of the vice presidents of the FIA, also fired. So that's 6 people in the last year. And almost every single one of them has basically said they're either fired or let go because of disagreements with Benny. Can I call him Benny? Yeah, I'm going to call him Benny. Hey, Benny. Stop being such a prick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and so we did. I was going to say we didn't say or read the quotes here from Robert Reed. The reasoning for him stepping down is a fundamental breakdown in governance standards within the motorsports global governing body. When I took on this role, it was to serve the FIA's members, not to serve power. Over time, I have witnessed a steady erosion of principles we promised to uphold. Decisions are being made behind closed doors, bypassing the very structures and people the FIA exists to present.
And just a quick little aside to that of what was the last line you said there, Stephen?
Decisions are being made behind closed doors, bypassing the very structures and people the FIA exists to present.
So 2 months ago, also, Reed got in shit with the FIA because he refused to sign an NDA at a meeting and was barred from the meeting.
Oh.
So. Listen, there is some dirty things going on behind the doors of the FIA, clearly.
Shocker.
So, like, Stephen, you want to call this episode Dirty Air. I say we should call it Dirty Money because
just call it dirty.
Oh.
Or don't be dirty. Something
no.
Don't be dirty.
Listen, there is a lot of shenanigans going on there, and now you're having this whole engine debate thing of what they want to do with that now. I don't know, like, you've seen that in the last couple of weeks where all this engine talk is coming from, right?
Oh, where MBS is like, yeah, let's bring back the V10s.
Oh boy. Okay.
Who is paying this man for this idea? There is some special interest group that has to be all of a sudden. You cannot tell me that some closed doors meetings were happening. All of a sudden now some crazy fucking ideas are coming out of nowhere. And guys who were previously in positions of power of the FAA are now leaving because they disagree with it.
Yeah, wasn't there something about with Robert Reed stepping down, like it had something to do with the World Rally Championship? And like a decision that was made unilaterally without even consulting anybody else?
There was the swearing. We went over that last week and how the drivers are just basically not commenting or they're maliciously complying during interviews by either speaking in their native language or just a thumbs up or very generic good race.
Yeah.
Good for us.
Yeah, but it had something to do with like the actual championship itself.
I think there was a lot of things happening here where clearly the FIA has its own objectives and agenda, and I think a lot of that agenda is being determined by money.
Yeah, so it says that they were going to take in-house the promotion of the World Rallycross Championship without approval by the FIA Senate or World Council, and that the action could carry legal risk under the EU competition law.
So they're just doing what they want?
Yeah, and like because the FIA Council said that the World Championships all have to have external promoters, I think it's saying that the FIA would be the main promoter of the World Rallycross Championship itself. So without anybody externally, which is like a massive conflict of interest.
Yeah, because I guess you just don't want to run it yourself and you want to have someone else. Like, for example, like F1, who's the promoter, essentially.
Is it Liberty?
Yeah, it's Liberty. They bought the rights.
Yeah.
Could
So-
argue Netflix sometimes.
Well, yeah. But like
But
that's the thing
yes.
where it makes sense. You don't want to have the direct control over the series. You still want someone else to kind of hand it off to, and you just are the governing body.
Mhm.
And like obviously there's some issues there in European law of, I'm sure, what's the word? I wonder if it's going to have like a effect of like antitrust kind of stuff also. Kind of how you have the NASCAR thing going on.
Yeah. But like, so when Liberty Media promotes the F1 events, right? I'm assuming that they're the ones who are making the deals with like the sponsors, like, you know, like Heineken, right? Who does a lot of the F1 GPs. So is this saying that the FIA would now be the one who are making these deals with sponsors of these events? Like, that's a massive
Or what if it's not even just like
issue.
the event itself, but the series? Like, yeah, you have Heineken who does like
Yeah.
the series. Okay, so apparently MBS is watching me talk shit and decides to disconnect me randomly. That's fun. Gotta love that. Okay, moving on.
Yep.
What was I saying?
I guess really, Taylor's the only safe one because I don't think she's actively uploaded anything lately.
That's fine. Listen, if I go missing in like, I don't know, some random capital and, you know, get bone sawed and pushed down a drain, you know what happened. That's all I'm saying. Anyway,
Oh,
the issue is with this entire thing. You have now FIA is taking over, I guess, the rallycross. That's what we're saying.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, like you were saying, the problem is that now if you want to make a deal to sponsor the World Rallycross, you may now have to now sponsor that and chip a little back to the FIA. If you don't
Exactly.
have a separate promoter, like we were saying with Liberty that does it for F1, they have to make all the deals for the official partners, the official tire supplier, the official beer, fuel, or whatever of F1. You need each one of those individual promoters for the series.
Exactly.
FIA.
So how
So what
much
Taylor's saying is
money-
they're probably going to put them all in-house and make this. This is like FIFA 2.0, really.
Oh, 100%. It's so corrupt. So corrupt. I also wonder how many oil sponsors might be involved in Rallycross in the next year if this is what's going to happen. Just saying.
I am curious also where if Rallycross will have to start going to other places now for events. Hey, we're gonna go have the Saudi Arabian rally, or I actually don't know what the rally's called. I do not know this.
All I know is the Baja something. There's like a Baja
1000?
something, and then there's one in Dubai. Yeah, the Baja 1000. There's one in Dubai.
Oh, there already is a
Yeah.
there's rally Saudi Arabia already, huh? Didn't know that.
Oh.
Oh, it's first years this year.
Oh, interesting.
They signed a 10-year contract apparently.
A 10-year contract?
Yep.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah, starting in 2025. Anyway, so
Sus. So sus.
Sport washing is a thing. And yeah, the FIA is probably quickly becoming one of the dirtiest organizations in the world.
Can't wait for the
Shocker.
documentary in 10 years about how corrupt the FIA got.
I can't wait to be assassinated for speaking out against it.
Sean.
You got a red dot on your head.
Maybe I'm actually not sick. I've just been poisoned.
Yeah. Got to make it look somewhat natural.
Oh, that's unfortunate. Anyway, what else stuff has happened in the news this week? I know there's some fun things out there.
You want to go through fun things?
Let's get some fun things.
McLaren is entering WEC in 2027.
That
was
is a fun
announced
thing.
I saw, that's so exciting.
That was
In the
announced
hypercar.
today. Yep. So they are going to be racing in WEC from 2027 onwards. That was announced this morning by Zach Brown. So that'll be fun.
Kind of wish they went to IMSA instead,
super
but
exciting.
okay.
I know. Maybe it's coming though. I feel like IMSA would be coming.
I mean, you can race a hypercar in IMSA, but you can't do a LMDH in WEC.
Right.
Actually, no, you totally can because Porsche does. Fuck, I don't know how these rules work.
Wait. Huh?
Yeah, because Porsche's in WEC.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Anyway, the reason I would say that I want them in IMSA over WEC is WEC is FIA, IMSA's not.
Right.
IMSA's
Yes,
NASCAR.
IMSA's NASCAR.
They're not that bad.
True.
There's no lawsuits
Wow,
against
it's
them.
really-
Oh my god, everything sucks.
Gosh.
This is why we love
I was gonna
IndyCar.
say,
It all
Yeah,
sucks.
do we love
Oh.
IndyCar?
I don't know. Roger isn't that
Oh.
corrupt.
Oh,
we sure?
did you
Keyword
see
is
where he was
that.
yesterday?
Oh no, where
Did
was
you
he
see
yesterday?
where he was yesterday? White House.
What,
Not
making
that-
billions
I'm
off
not
of the
saying-
market
Did he short the market there? Did he make a lot of money?
Maybe.
I mean, if it helps the series, I'm okay with it. That's the only thing I'll be.
If it, you know what? If it gives us races where we don't have these like month-long breaks to start the season, sure, short the market.
Yeah.
Insider trading.
Oh,
whatever.
jeez.
Fuck it.
This is quickly descending into like the depressive state of the world. And I'm like, is motorsports just going to be like just super sad?
Listen,
Oh.
I miss the days when motorsports was funded off of drug money and bootlegging, and you know what? It never has been
Yes.
clean, has it?
Nope.
I guess not.
Hmm.
No, let's bring that back. Let's bring back all the like under the table marijuana operations that fund IndyCar teams or IMSA teams or
Yeah. Next, they're gonna have
all
a
teams.
team funded on human trafficking. Way to go, Taylor. Sponsored by Somali
Okay, let's
pirates.
not do that. Sponsored by the mafia. I wouldn't be surprised if there already is one that like secretly is sponsored by mafia money.
I got
Probably
a-
somewhere.
It's called Ferrari.
Okay.
I got a good car idea. We put a car in a whole bunch of different series. Every single car is MS13, and they all rock the 13.
Jesus Christ. Are you trying to get sent to El Salvador?
Yeah.
Do you want to get sent to El Salvador? That's how you get sent to El Salvador.
There's a non-zero chance I might just get, if I visit the U.S. again, I might just get picked up off the street anyways.
I'll turn you in for the fun
You
of
know,
it.
You could be detained at the border. Like at this
there's-
point, it's a 50-50. We never know.
Listen,
There's clearly like no.
I'll get you busted for the content. Like, what?
Nah, I'd rather
I'll
not.
sacrifice you for the content.
Yeah, I'd rather not be that close to Christy Nome at any time.
That's valid also.
This is quickly getting very political.
It's getting weird. Okay, any other fun news?
Jay Fry. So this is sort of like a two-parter because we didn't really talk about this when it happened. So Jay Fry, I can't remember if he stepped down or was let go
He was let go, I'm pretty
as
sure.
president. Yeah, as president of IndyCar,
Wasn't he president of like competition or something?
something like that. No, he was president of IndyCar. That's
Okay.
what it says. Anywho, so he stepped down. Doug Bowles is now in. Doug Bowles was it president of IMS, is now
Yep.
president of IndyCar. So when that happened, we'll see if he takes the sport in a different direction throughout the next couple of years. Anywho, Jay Fry is now ended up at RLL as team president there. So he's taking over that operation.
But it's a president of both the IndyCar and IMSA team.
Mm-hmm. Which, probably a good call on the IndyCar side. This guy knows the rule book inside and out. He can help RLL find little things where they can tip a little power back to them.
Or even just find sponsors, and you don't have to rely on pay
Find
drivers.
sponsors. Yep. So, a couple bonuses there for RLL.
Also, I'm pretty sure in terms of other IndyCar news, didn't Penske say like he's aiming for 2027 for the car?
That's a rumor, I think.
Oh, I
'Cause
thought you said
rumor's
that.
been out there. So I know David Land did an interview with him, and the 2027 has been the target that's been floated for like the last 6 months. I think they started talking about it at the end of last year. And I know with the Indy Museum opening up, that was the reason there was a big get together there. I think it was said.
It was off this.
It's been said by.
No, it was off this Marshall Pruitt article I was reading today. That's where it was. Basically, with 2027 being the goal, Penske is looking at like financing options for teams to get a new chassis. So
Okay. Well, so I guess the rumors now have a little more weight to them.
Yeah.
Because again, I think that's been said for a while, and I know like they had renderings of what a 2027 car could be that some of the drivers had seen. Because again, I remember David Land had interviews with a couple different people, including Roger Penske, about 27 as a target year to implement, and I don't think it's been confirmed. That's just what they're aiming for.
Well, if it is a thing, they'll probably announce it then next year.
Yeah.
Probably in May.
Well, they sort of have to at that point.
Yeah.
Right. So.
Oh, speaking of, I guess formulas and stuff, we kind of mentioned it, but like this whole V10 thing for F1.
Yep.
Do you think this becomes an actual thing?
Part of me says yes, and I find I have a very mixed feeling on it. Partially due to we keep saying the racing can suck in F1. Okay, how do you fix the racing? You take weight out of the car. Okay, what's one easy way to take weight out of the car? Take out the hybrid system. We've seen it in IndyCar. It's caused issues in terms of how much weight it adds in. You can make the car smaller, make it a little more agile, make it easier to pass, whatever. So, could I see it? Probably. As long if MBS is up for re-election in December. If he's re-elected, yeah, probably.
Yeah.
True, yeah.
Wouldn't surprise me.
Mm-hmm.
We'll go for sustainable fuels.
It could be very interesting what happens with this if they do go down this V10 path. Because which team is staunchly against it? Honda. Honda does not want this at all. Honda wants to keep with the hybrid, keep going down that kind of thing. They're just looking to come back in. Well, Honda also apparently is looking to get out of IndyCar. If F1 says, hey, we're going to go V10, ditch hybrid, maybe this is the time for then IndyCar to then go back to that hybrid. Basically, the tech's there. Everyone knows kind of how the tech works. Build a formula on that, get something that can work for Chevy, Honda, and some other manufacturers who maybe go to Renault and be like, hey, yeah, we know your stuff kind of sucks, but like if we tune it down for Indy, would that be better for you? Because again, it's very fascinating that all of a sudden this V10 stuff comes up, and like I don't really think I think it's a dumb idea. I really do. If you're going to revert regulations, like you ever see, like no one ever goes back. Actually, no, that's not true. IndyCar went back for a while there. But no one ever goes back to something that was like worse. Like you don't see F1 go, you know what? We're going to take front wings away. No. Once you have wings, you have wings. Once you have the hybrid system, you have the hybrid system. I think there was talks about going like V10 with KERS to like keep a battery in there, but like, okay, what's the point of that?
Yeah.
So I kind of want to see it become a thing for the chaos of it, but I also think it's an absolute stupid idea, and I think they should just stay the course, make a better formula, kind of, you know, maybe improve it, maybe work on improving battery efficiency with the hybrids. There's so many things you can do, and yet the solution is V10s, or what's the kind of fuels is it again?
Sustainable fuels.
Sustainable fuels.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, which is just an excuse, you know. Hey, listen, the fuels we have now are sustainable if we just all die and become fossilized and then become oil and then just come back 100 million years later. Sustainable. In a way.
Okay.
Listen. It's
Anyway.
bullshit. It's bullshit. Just stick with how you're doing it.
Yeah, because like IndyCar's slowly figured out the hybrid thing. Let's remember this is only year 2, not even year 2 technically. It only started like
Was it,
midway
like,
through last year.
1.5?
It isn't
Yeah.
really like
No,
it isn't even much hybrid. Like
Yeah.
it's such a basic hybrid system.
Yeah. So I don't know. We'll see. I think that's more or less it, unless anyone has like.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think of anything else we got.
This is what happens when you have 2 boring ass fucking races. Okay, you know what? Let's not talk about
Yeah,
past. Let's talk about
especially.
future. What do we got? We got Bahrain. We got
Bahrain.
IndyCar coming off of their fucking mini off season with Long Beach, and
Right.
NASCAR is in Bristol.
Bristol.
So
That
anything to
should be an
watch out.
exciting weekend.
Bristol we know is gonna be bad because it's a short track in NASCAR.
Right.
Bahrain should be fun. I will have a bold prediction for Bahrain.
Okay, what's your bold prediction?
Okay, so we've had 4 races in F1 with 4 different winners. I think we're going to get a 5th different winner.
Ooh.
Ooh. And who is that winner?
Leclerc.
I like it. I like it.
We've had 3 races, by the way.
There was a sprint race.
Oh, sprint race. Fair enough.
And who won that?
Technically 4.
Lewis.
Hamilton.
4 races, 4 different winners. I'm going to say Leclerc for.
I like it. I like it.
And you know, let's keep the good vibes going for Long Beach and go Pato.
Okay.
Just not
Palou.
below. Just not below,
Anyone
please.
but Palou.
I want to have a little bit of intrigue before he eventually rips out everybody's hearts once again.
He's only won the
Yes.
first 2 races. Come on. He can't do 3 in a row. Monkey paw girls.
Yep. You're right. He can do 5.
Not 3, 5. Oh, so congratulations, Alex Palou, on winning the Long Beach Grand Prix.
Has he won Long Beach? Shit.
Uh,
I don't know if Palou has won Long Beach before. This could be one that he could be, he could be due to get this one. In which case, that's not good for us.
It was won by Statixon last year.
He has not won at Long Beach yet,
Uh-oh.
from what I can see here.
He was
Uh-oh.
3rd last year, though.
He's been 3rd twice, 5th, and
COVID years didn't happen.
4th.
Oh god, his worst finish is 5th. Yeah, okay. Okay, he's gonna win. Why did we do this? Oh,
oh, great.
that's fantastic. Okay. Anyone else got some bold predictions or something else? You know, give us some hope.
Ooh, a bold prediction. Let me see.
I want to be bold and say Sonoda will get a top 5, but I feel like that's still too bold based off his comments.
Yeah.
Maybe in a couple weeks, but who knows if he'll still have the seat in a couple weeks? Because this is what, race 2 of a triple header,
Yeah.
right? So who knows? Maybe at this rate he could be out by the end of the triple header.
Ugh.
Oh dear. Okay, my bold prediction is going to be that Antonelli gets a podium. Maybe 2nd. I'll go with 2nd.
I think that's fair.
What is
Yep.
happening?
We're slowly under attack.
Oh no.
Okay, apparently
You found
Steven gets attacked now. Cool. He gets
Yep.
fortunately removed from the chat.
Again, it's easier to link our
Yeah,
IPs.
didn't touch anything, right? And just like it just
Nope.
drops you. I don't know, right? Damn.
Fuck.
I don't know, guys.
Just gonna close these.
Yeah.
They found us.
But to get
They
drone
found
striked
us.
over here. Huh. Anyway.
Maybe they can't find me in the snow that's currently happening outside.
Ugh.
That's fair. So Steven, you're saying what's your prediction?
MBS is reelected this December and gets a lifetime appointment.
You're already in the hole, man. You ain't saving it. Don't even give it up.
Gotta try.
Nope.
Um,
Coward.
I'm gonna say Leclerc wins as well. I'm gonna say that George gets on pole though.
I would like that. That'd be fun.
Hold
Just
on.
to make,
You
just to make
both-
things interesting.
You both predicted Leclerc to win.
Yeah, he's
Right.
fucking
Oh,
out.
he's DNFing for sure.
Am I like in a different universe? Like, interesting. Yeah. So Leclerc, sorry that you didn't finish this race. You've been cursed from the outset.
Also, I would love to see the McLarens come together.
Oh, I would love that so much.
Just for the drama and
I would
for
love
the
that
other
so
teams
much.
to kind of catch up.
Okay, you know Netflix is gonna be like, come on, guys, you gotta make this season good.
The season will be good. Trust me. I believe it's going to be fine. I think development will be huge this year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so is that it for the weekend talk?
Yeah, I think so. Long
that's
Beach.
fair.
Yeah.
Because also there's fun weekend stuff for this weekend is me and Taylor get to play with fire.
Yay!
Not a good thing.
Yay!
We have to put it
We
out
get
apparently.
to play with fire. We get to get signed off that we are fire and safety trained, which
Yay.
means we can legally respond to vehicles that are actively on fire.
Should we
Not you yet, though.
Should we be the ones doing that? No. But however,
this is good training for you because apparently you're a magnet. So
yeah, exactly. And
just
like
in case.
I'm the magnet, and knowing my luck, someone's gonna go down that has the fire extinguisher, so I gotta be able to use it anyway. So like, you know.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
That's the attitude.
As long as you remember to bring the fire extinguisher with you somewhere, that's the main thing.
You wanna explain your point there?
Well, unlike some people who just ran past the fire extinguisher to a burning vehicle, let's just remember that. The lovely moment from the Daytona
Oh, I know
24 hour.
I know what you're talking about.
I know that you know what I'm talking about. Josh's finest moment.
Yeah, that's hilarious. That was
On
so bad.
national TV.
Just runs by it. Nope. Oh, fire
Runs by
extinguisher?
it and then stands there. Just stands there.
That is so fucking terrible.
Like,
He
my
tried.
favorite thing about that was that we were not on shift, and they just ran to it anyway.
They're special.
Anyway, you're special. I just stood there like, not my problem, not my shift, not my problem.
Listen, it was Canadians helping Canadians. It made sense.
Yeah, true. Fair.
Yeah, I'm pretty
Anyway,
sure it's
it'll be
Parker
fun.
Thompson's car. So
It was. Yes.
yeah.
Yes, it was. So it'll be fun. It'll be good.
yes, I'm looking forward to
Also,
it.
the Masters is on this weekend. Yay, golf.
I'm out. Nope. I feel like golf and racing
Right.
are fundamentally opposed to each other, unless you are golfing at IMS. I feel like that's the only time it's really acceptable to mix the two.
Fair
Wait,
enough.
what?
Indianapolis Motor Speedway has a golf course in the middle of it, or it has like 3 holes of a golf course.
It does?
You don't know this?
I don't know this.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, that's a bucket
Fair
list
enough.
for me and Steven to play, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. That's a good bucket list item. Okay.
Knowing me, I'll shank one onto the track, though. Whoops.
During the Indy 500.
I think it's closed during the actual 500.
It is.
Yeah.
Instead of a tire hitting someone, it'll just be a golf ball.
That'd be terrible. Shanks into
That
the
would be
crowd.
terrible.
Whoops, sorry. Or somehow me and Steven get the little golf cart on the track. Hey, I think we missed a turn. These guys are really
Yep.
fast.
Those cars?
And, oh my gosh, there's a golf cart.
How fast is he going? 40.
It's a great reference. Anyway, okay, I think on that note, is that all for this week?
Yep.
Okay, well, no, don't say kill it. That's how we get drone strike. Thank you very much for listening
No,
to this week's
swearing
episode.
is how we get drunk straight.
Or calling out terrible policy. Thank you very much for listening to this episode. We have gone off the rails. If you don't hear from us next week, you know what happened to us. And if you do hear from us, then yeah, we'll be back for another episode next week to talk all things motorsports. Thank you and goodbye.
Thank you for tuning in to the Spare Parts Racing Podcast. Remember to subscribe so you don't miss an episode, and follow the show on Twitter at Spare Parts Racing. That's Spare Parts RACIN, and on TikTok at Spare Parts Pod. Follow the hosts at Sean Chavarella, at Stephen Clary, and at Tay Moore.